Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Divas That Care Network. My name is Candace Gish, and I'm the founder of the Divas That Care Network, and I'm just so excited to have my own program on the Divas That Care. And I've been interviewing amazing women from around the world for the last 9 years. I'm actually going to be going into our 10th season for the program, and I'm just so excited. It is so much fun, guys. I get to interview women that are, and young, I always call them my young divas, that are doing extraordinary things, and they are so inspirational, and we have a great time. Today, I think I'm going to be probably laughing a lot because I had the opportunity to talk with this diva last week, and oh my goodness, she makes me laugh, and the things that she's doing, it's so much fun. And I was saying right before the show, I think that she's my soul sister because the things that she's doing is just absolutely so much fun. Today's guest is Daniella Nordin, and Danielle, welcome to the program. I'm just so happy to have you today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm thrilled to have you. You know, we were introduced because of a mutual acquaintance and a mutual friend that we have and the things that you were doing. And I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the other things you're doing because I find that you're just such an inspirational and really cool individual, and I want to get to know you better. So, Daniella, would you mind spending a few minutes just sharing with our listeners today a little bit about yourself?
Sure, absolutely. Well, that's quite the compliment. I hope I can live up to it. It's funny that you mentioned we have a mutual friend, a mutual diva. So my supervisor, I work at a small organization called Saratoga Warhorse in upstate New York, and we are a veteran organization. We help veterans struggling with symptoms of post-traumatic stress. We pair them in an equine-assisted experience to help them overcome those symptoms. And when you called me last week to talk to me, I don't know if you remember, the first thing I said was, well, my credentials aren't as impressive as Allison's. I was like, I don't know if you want to interview me. She jumped out of airplanes in Iraq. She has her PhD. I said, I don't know if I'm all I'm cracked up to be, but you talked me into it, and here I am. So I guess I'll give a little bit of background, and hopefully I can live up to that diva title that we all, I think, embody every day. So I am, right? I'm the director of outreach, which is really cool because I describe my job in thirds. One third is recruiting veterans and getting the word out about our program and our organization. Another third is fundraising, which is actually a lot more fun than people kind of give it credit for. So if anybody out there is thinking about fundraising and, wants a couple of tips, it's partially one of the most enjoyable parts of my job. And then another third is really being the on-site program coordinator for the program, which is amazing because I get to meet the veterans who come through the program, and I really enjoy that aspect. And then everybody's favorite, the other 10% other duties as assigned. I think as women, we all know we wear many, many hats, beautiful hats, fun hats, utilitarian hats. So in nonprofit world, we sort of pick up all those other duties. So I've been here about 6 months. Before that, I was the director of marketing for our local Girl Scout Council, Girl Scouts of Northeastern New York, which was an amazing opportunity. People get crazy about their cookies. I'm just going to put that out there. Cookies are very important to the Girl Scout world, and I learned way more about Girl Scout cookies than I thought I would ever know. And before that, I was in higher ed. I actually started as a social media marketer, which was really fun, talking about taking risks in your life. I took a 2-year temporary position while I was in grad school and ended up staying with the college that I was working for about 6.5 years. So that was a risk that really paid off in the long run. Personally, you mentioned that I before we got on the phone, I moonlight as a college radio DJ. I have my own show with another diva called Ladies 80s, and we broadcast on Wednesday nights here in Saratoga Springs, New York. It's super fun. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. Go Buckeyes. It was a tough loss this past weekend for our football team, but I'm still very close to my family there. Fun fact, my mom was a single mom, and I have two sisters. So I grew up with some divas. They'll appreciate that title. There was a lot of hair in high school and a lot of boys in high school. That's what I remember about my formative years. So yeah. I mean, if anybody out there has sisters, they know. Yep.
They understand. Yeah, exactly. Well, when I'm dealing with, I would say 3.5 divas. That's my youngest, almost or a teenager. So it's like, oh my goodness, we have a household of crazy girls, and I love it because it makes life so much fun. So your mom probably had a blast.
You know what? Maybe you should talk to her on the next show and ask her that question. Might get a different answer, but no, we were really lucky. We grew up the Nordin girls, and I'm thrilled. I'm actually, I think I told you last week, pregnant with my own Nordin girl. I'm due in 2 weeks, so I'm very excited to be that, next title in my life. Yep.
Well, and that's why I'm so excited to have you on because, oh my goodness, I know that, the next couple of weeks are going to fly by for you, and life after that is never going to be the same.
I hope they fly by. This waiting game is just crazy. I don't know how, I was talking to a couple of my friends who are all mothers, and this journey has just been so amazing talking to other women like you, who have 4. Are you kidding me? But other women who have gone through this, and just the support and the stories and the things that these women share with me that have been so helpful. But they were all like, yeah, that last 4 weeks, man, it's a waiting game, and you're just, hanging on and trying to figure out what you're going to do. And I said, yes, exactly where I am. Yep.
And I love that because you had mentioned that to me last week, and I thought it was just wonderful that you have developed all these amazing friendships. You're, like these networks of amazing women that you're talking with, and you're visiting, and you're doing a lot of stuff. And I think that's what I really love.
It's
think
so
as
important.
A society,
yes.
It is so important, isn't it? We seem to lose track of that. We're, everybody's like, well, I'm too busy. And, we always have these things going on. But we have to find those moments where we just need to reconnect with individuals, and not necessarily just, through text messaging and Snapchat and, and Instagram and Facebook, all these different things. You really need to pick up a phone, or you really need to go and sit down and have those communications with people because, oh my goodness, it's so good for your heart and soul.
It really is. Well, and especially, like, I think people tend to think about it, okay, yes, I am in my 3rd trimester, I need to reach out, I need to do, but it's the day-to-day interactions. I mean, I think about, like, okay, I've been pregnant for, 112 weeks now. I still have to be nice to people. I still have to go to work, I have a social life. I have to plan dinner, or ask, do something else or go out or whatever. And it gets to be a lot. So you really rely on women who have been through this, who have made it through, who you admire, and you're like, what did you do? What are your tips? And these women have just been, it's been overwhelming, the amount of support that I have. I know how lucky I am. Well, and it makes me think about how lucky our children are going to be, to have that community, that found family around them. Yep.
I think that's great, and it's lovely. And you're still working, which I find is extraordinary. Are you planning on staying up until the last day possible?
I'm gonna try. One of the members of my tribe told me, she was like, I was thankful to have the distraction, and I'm thankful to have the distraction of work now too. It's nice to kind of have something, because otherwise, I don't know if you're like this. I feel like I'd be sitting on the couch just thinking about all of the things that you don't want to be thinking about right before you go into labor.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's so true. I was lucky because I've always been an entrepreneur. And so I was always busy up until the last moment.
Yes.
But that's exactly it. It's like, okay, you're always thinking and you're always trying to figure things out. And I just love it because you're making such an impact in the organization you're working with. It is such an extraordinary organization. And, from what I hear, you're doing such a great job. So, thank you for that.
Oh, that's awesome. No.
Well, and I love that you're doing so many different things. And when I was reading your bio, and I did say that right before the program, I'm like, I got a kick out of the ladies' 80s because I love listening to 80s music. If my daughters are probably laughing because they'll listen to this program afterwards and they'll be like, you actually talked to that? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Of course.
Because I love to listen to music and I dance all the time. And you know what? Life is so short. I'm like, you've got to embrace it. You've got to love it. And, there's nothing like the 80s music.
It's so true.
It is. Yeah, it's so much fun. And it brings a smile to your face. And,
yes.
and I think that is really cool what you're doing.
It's so funny because it was a dream that I had when I was in college. I was like, if I was ever going to do a radio station, I know it'd be ladies' 80s. I'd curate, these amazing playlists. It's more than just Madonna and Pat Benatar, though I love Madonna and Pat Benatar. I was like, people need to know about what's going on. And a friend of mine who was a director at the college that I worked with, she was like, why don't we just do it? And I was like, well, what do you mean? We can't, that's not a thing that people do. You can't just go on and she was like, yeah, we're totally going to do it. And so we reached out to the radio station. They have a community branch where they just put, apparently random people who want their own radio shows.
Yeah.
They were like, sure, make it work. We have had so much fun. It's been 5 years running. We do each of our episodes are a theme. So we pick, different themes that we want to play, and then we curate our songs around it. So I will tell you, I don't know if your show is PG friendly, but our most popular playlist is actually our DILF playlist. Some people may be familiar with the MILF term. A mom I would like to familiarize myself with. So we flipped it and made it dads that we would like to. So Bon Jovi's all over the playlist, Bruce Springsteen. I mean, we have people call in all the time that are like, I cannot believe you are playing this show. I cannot believe how much thought you've put into this. This is so crazy. But we'll do everything from Born in the USA for 4th of July, so we'll play all American Heartland bands, we did one that was geography based, so we played Boston, and a couple of other, we just have so much fun with it, and you just need 2 hours every week to scream at the top of your lungs,
That is fantastic. So you do this for 2 hours once a week?
Yes. Yep. I think you can listen to it online. It's WSPN.com. So if everybody out there just, wants to jam to ladies 80s music with us, log on and you can stream from your computer from anywhere.
Well, you know what? I'm going to find it because I think this would be funny, and I think it'll be just absolutely amazing, and I'm going to be sending it out to our tribe. So for all of our listeners that have been tuning in for the last 9 years, I'm going to find this, and we're going to have fun. And I might even do a crazy thing where we have some of our tribe to film themselves listening to it because I think it would be so much fun.
Yes. Oh, good. Well, they're more than welcome. Call in. We take requests all the time. The only person who really calls in regularly is my mom, so you'll be more than welcome to, diversify that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love that she's supporting you. That's absolutely amazing, Daniella.
Oh, of course, yes. She's always like, no, this isn't the right song. This isn't the song that I would play. And I'm like, oh, Mom. But she'll stream it. She'll listen in every night from Ohio. God love her.
Oh, yeah. I love her. That's amazing. Well, I love that. Okay, so tell us what is new. What else is going to be happening with you? I know that you're going to be having a baby here right away. Are you going to be continuing to do the things that you've been doing? How are you, I know this is a bad thing to say, because how do you feel that you're going to be able to balance it all?
Oh, my gosh. Does anybody ever feel like they've balanced it all?
No.
I know, right? Well, and I think this is probably a question you get to maybe as your own mom-entrepreneur and entrepreneur. I think it's really about prioritizing, So I have to go in saying, right now the priority is finishing up work, making sure it's in a really good spot, that I've left my team in good hands, that they have the tools that they need. And then when the baby comes, it's, okay, well, this is a brand new, really big priority. you know, and figuring out how to manage that aspect and what that looks like. And one of the things that's important to me and that I want to keep is, you know, still feeling like me. I think that's something a lot of women struggle with, and
Yes,
new
that's so true.
identities, all the roles that we play. We're sisters, we're mothers, we're wives, we're, you know, daughters, we're workers, all of these titles that we have, and really figuring out at what time and what place it makes the most sense to be the one while still keeping your core person, you know, who
Yeah.
you are. So I'm
Well, and
lucky enough to, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and I love that you have figured that out already, because it took me years to figure that out and to take time for myself and to balance things to make myself a priority. And I didn't do that for a very long time.
Well, I find the biggest part of that is surrounding yourself with the right people. So having a good partner, having a good friend, having your tribe, having people you can rely on and who won't give you, you know, slack when you say, "Oh man, I don't feel like doing this, or this doesn't feel right." And they'll say, "You know what? Go brush your teeth. I'm coming to pick you up." And I'm like, "Yep, that was the right call." You know, that was the absolute right call at that moment. Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well, I've been having such a great time chatting with you. I love it.
Awesome.
I do want to end our program though with talking more about the Saratoga Warhorse, because I think it's really important to share about that organization. For any of our listeners that did not hear probably the first podcast about your organization, could you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really proud to I guess another one of the identifiers that I feel strongly about is working in nonprofit. So I'm lucky enough to be able to work for an organization that really at the end of the day feels like we do good work. So we help veterans. It's all U.S. veterans and active duty service members who struggle with post-traumatic stress. So a lot of those a lot of those symptoms look like depression, isolation, trouble sleeping at night, and we require no diagnosis for these veterans to come to us. It's anybody who needs help can reach out to our program. It's a 3-day program where we pair them with an off-the-track thoroughbred racehorse, which is kind of a specific racehorse, but in Saratoga, that's what we're known for. We're known for the racetrack here. It's really interesting because a military service member and a thoroughbred, their careers really mimic each other. They're both highly trained, they're very specialized, they have short careers, and they both have trouble transitioning out of their careers. So they're taken at a young age, they're, you know, the thoroughbreds make a lot of money, and then something happens, and people scramble to find something to do with them. So we pair the veteran and the horse in a trust exercise that really helps, what I say, veterans open the door or take that next step that they're looking for. So we had a veteran come through the program in early March who said, "You know what, I was finally able to go home and take down my Christmas decorations." Something that you and I maybe take for granted every day that was really impossible for her to kind of, you know, overcome. She was depressed, anxious, you know, couldn't go home and take down those decorations, came through our program, was like, wow, you know, a horse could trust me and I could trust that horse. I'm going to take this next step. And from there, she reached out to her family. She set up travel. You know, she got out of the house. It's really about helping these men and women get to that next step where they can ask for help. It's been awesome working here. I've been thrilled that they took a chance on me and hired me, and I've just really appreciated it.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a fabulous job, and I just want to thank you very much for giving me that analogy, because I have not heard anybody give an analogy quite like that, and it was absolutely beautiful because it really does explain, whereas a lot of us would not understand that unless we've been in that position.
Yeah, I find, you know, a lot of times, so we do get the powerhouse stories of veterans who come through and say, you know, you saved my life, or you changed my life, or I was on the brink of this. But to me, the more meaningful stories really come from those day-to-day things that, like, we really do take for granted, that we can't, you know, I think about how lucky we are to just get in the car and drive somewhere, or, be able to call your parents or go. And a lot of our veterans struggle with those seemingly small interactions, and how important it is to help you get on track to be a better you. That stuff really means a lot, and that's really what our program does.
Well, it's a beautiful program, and the more I learn about it, the more I just absolutely think it's fantastic what you guys are all doing.
Oh, thank
you.
How
can our listeners help you? And that's something that, a lot of people are thinking, they want to be involved in things. A lot of people make those New Year's resolutions, right? And they're always trying to think of things. What can they do for, the next year? So for 2020, because is there something that our listeners can they work with you guys?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. We always take volunteers. We always take donations. Our website is saratogawarhorse.org. And one of the nice things about a small organization like ours, so if you do make even a $25 donation, we record all of the connections between the veterans and the racehorse, and we give copies of those to every veteran that comes through our program. The cost of that is $25. So even for something as small as a $25 gift, you are ensuring that veteran gets to keep that memento and that experience forever, for the rest of their lives. So I always tell people that is a really great way, yes, to do that. And also just spread the word. We're on Facebook. We're on social media. Everybody, I feel like, has a veteran in their life, grandparents or brothers or sisters, or knows somebody. And spread the word. If you know a veteran in need, we would love to help them.
Well, we love that, and we want to get that information out to as many people as possible. So the Divas That Care really wants to support you in your endeavors, and we promise to do as much as we can on our side to get that word out for you.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you, Candace. We appreciate that.
Well, you know what? The more I talk to you guys, the more I'm just absolutely inspired and empowered by what you're doing, and we definitely want to be a part of organizations like that. So we will definitely be supporting you. And you know what? Thank you so much for everything. I'm just so happy that you took the time to come on today's program just to chat with me today, and it was so much fun.
This is so much fun. I should spend every lunch hour doing this. So if you're ever looking for somebody, just give me a call, and we'll just, talk about all sorts of things.
I would love that. I would definitely love that, Danielle. And welcome to motherhood. You're going to be doing that in a couple weeks. I'm just so excited for you.
Thank you.
2020 is going to be so much fun for you.
I will keep you posted on how it goes. I hope I get a little diva,
Oh, me too. Well, thank you again for coming on the program. And I want to thank all of our amazing listeners that have been tuning in to us for the last 9 years. It's because of you that we've been continuing to do this. We have so much fun. You've been amazing support to all of us, to all of our hosts on the network. In 2020, we're going to be designing a brand new platform so that we'll be having 20 hosts in 2020. So make sure that you tune into those amazing women that are interviewing others around the world. I want to thank each and every one of you again for being such a big supporter of ours. Please check out our hashtag Divas That Care and our website at divasthatcare.com. Thank you so much for everybody. I hope that each and every one of you has an amazing 2020. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.